Hi everyone, my name is Katie. Welcome to my page Red's Stitchery, and let's talk about cross stitching. Welcome to another episode of Stitchy Flossmas. Today I'm gonna talk about chatelaine. Couple of you reach out to me, ask me questions about chatelaine, where to start, how to find it, how to stitch it, is it difficult, and all those questions. I will say right now I'm stitching this one. This is dragonfly tile. This is considered a mini mandala because it's not going to be bigger than the hoop. Like literally I just have a couple more frames around to stitch it and it's going to be finished. There's so many different floss tubers who stitch chatelaine. They're more knowledgeable, they more experts. So I was very unsure if I should film it, but I think I will. And I feel like in the future I will definitely grow as a chatelaine stitcher. Like I will get more experience, I will get more knowledge, and it will be interesting just to compare this video with me in the future. So I thought I'm gonna do it anyway. So if you do stitch chatelaine, if you have a huge experience in stitching those, please add, comment. If I say something wrong, please fix it. I would appreciate it, all your knowledge in the comments. Let's collect it all. For those who wants to start it, I'm just gonna talk out of my experience, why I started, what I've been doing, and all of that. First of all, I'm gonna show you. I'm actually time to time showing you this beauty in my stitchy updates. I absolutely love it. I absolutely enjoy it. This is one of those projects that it's hard for me to put it away if I start stitching it. And I think we're going to start from the beginning. This particular pattern was actually never my choice number one. I always like the reason why I've decided to start the chatelaine, it's this particular pattern right here. It's the hydrangea autumn fog, and just out of interest, Google it. This is so beautiful, breathtaking beautiful. Hydrangea is one of my favorite flowers. Like last year, I had a very strong obsession with this flower. I love it. I think it's one of those beautiful ones, but I rarely see pretty stitching for the hydrangea. Usually it's not what I'm looking for, but this one is just perfect. And if you're an experienced stitcher of the chatelaine, you already probably thinking, girl, you are crazy. Yes, I agree with you. And this is the lesson number one. Do not, I repeat, do not buy paper pattern. I ordered this one, I think from 1 to 3 Stitch, maybe from other website, but I did order from some kind of website, and this is a paper pattern. Do not repeat my mistake. Please go to official chatelaine website and order yourself a PDF file. I mean, it's kind of cool to have the paper one, but it's not worth it because I end up going online and getting the PDF form because you cannot stitch from the paper pattern. I'll show you why. Definitely go to their website. There's like endless options. I'm sure everybody will find something. I discovered so much more after I went particular for this one, but I just knew I have to get this one first. Everything else can wait. We're gonna talk in a minute why I started from this one and I still haven't started this one. But this is how the pattern looks like, and honestly it's very easy to read. It's a good print, it's a big print, but the whole problem with this, it's when you get to the page, to the chart, to the key chart, what to stitch with what, and this is your description about back stitching. So they just telling you this line, it's this color, this line, which line you talking about? Which line? So that's why ordering a paper pattern, it's honestly a waste of your money, because that's exactly how it looks like. It's just the line, which is same thickness, same everything, and the pattern comes only in black and white. When you get a PDF, it comes in color, and it just makes your life so much easier. So don't repeat my mistake. Don't order a paper pattern. Just go to official website and order from website the PDF file, so it will make your life so much easier. That one you can print if you don't want to work from the computer. You can work from the computer like I did. You know, just don't repeat my mistake. Don't get a paper pattern. When you go to official Chatelaine website, what I love is that if you find a pattern that you like, they give you a list of the necessary floss free to download and see what's happening. If you an experienced teacher, I feel like if you a hoarder like me, you might have something out of this list in your stash. However, if you're new at it, that's be prepared to spend a chunk of money, and that's when the European Crosstitch website comes handy. We're going to talk about it just in a minute. So when I was placing my order for hydrangea pattern, I did not know about that website. I downloaded it, I went to 123 Stitch, and I basically ordered everything, but please don't repeat my mistake. I think I was so hyper. I think I got a gift certificate, and I was so excited to spend all my money on this chatelaine, because again, it will be pricey, because none of it, except DMC floss I had in my stash, that I ignored the fact that some of this you need in multiple colors. So I think a couple of those colors I still need to get. I have only like one skein of those. And another thing, another problem that you will face, it's that there's one particular brand of silk, I believe it's a silk. It's Gloriana, and that one is almost impossible to find. Some of the colors you still can find, some of them I've been hunting them down and I was not able to purchase. It's literally impossible, and I will probably have to figure out something how to reorder those or like substitute them. But in particular, hydrangea, we have DMC, we have color water lilies, Karen water lilies, Dinky Dyes, Dinky Dyes Perlier, Gloriana, Gloriana Perlier, Rainbow Gallery, and then lots of delicate beads. So you have lots of fancy floss. I mean, look at this list of Dinky Dyes. Dinky Dyes is like $6 per something per one skein, so it can get very, very pricey. And some of them you need 2 or 4, and I still haven't collected them all, and it's because I was ordering all the floss myself, not using the European Crosstitch website. We're gonna talk about that one just in a minute. But what I like about the Chatelaine, go to official website, browse. I guarantee you're gonna spend a couple minutes in there for sure. There's a lot of things to see, and definitely download or download, like if you find some pattern that you like, download and see what's needed. I know lots of people actually not using none of the silks, they just substitute them. You can do that. If there's a silk you can substitute for any variation of floss, great, do that. I might have to do it with some of those that I cannot find. I feel like I am not that experienced. I don't have that eye for a good substitution yet, you know, like I feel like I don't have, it doesn't come to me naturally. So that's why I tend to follow the key exactly as is saying me to. But I feel like with time I will get that, it will come easier for me, and eventually I might just start easily substitute stuff. But I know lots of people don't even use any variation floss or anything. They just substitute it or blend some DMC floss and make their life way, way easier. But I have not collected the DMC floss yet, but I got myself, I think it was either from Hobby Lobby or from Target, maybe Michael's, one of those stores. I got myself this beautiful box because I was so excited to start it. I was anticipating, excited, I cannot wait. So I decided to give myself a fancy box too, because I knew it's gonna be a long project. It's gonna take me forever, and I don't know, I want that little fancy effect. So I bought myself this sewing boxes, and I organize kinda my process in here. Have not organized it all the way because I have not started stitching it yet. But it is very fun to open it and kind of like dive and through it. I feel like it's my gold and I'm like a dragon. So I kind of started organizing the DMC floss. I even got a floss drops because I know lots of you guys love them and I wanted to try them, but I started organizing it. But it's DMC floss. We see it all the time, everywhere. I found this beautiful fabric. You can pick, you know, whatever you want, but you do need a big cut. And I wonder if you will see kinda, this is a very barely noticeable pink with green in it. Like the darkest spots you see right here, it's green. So this is Lugana 28 count petals, and that's the cut. And the mandala pretty much gonna be this full cut. But you kind of can't see like all the spots. It's not a camera glitch, it's actually the fabric. And I know it says autumn fog, and it probably will be more logical to go for like grayish colors to get to that vibe. But I saw this fabric on 123 Stitch and I immediately knew I want this. I didn't want to make it dramatic, fog, all of that. I wanted to keep it nice and cute. I am a huge fantasy book collector, lover, reading it all the time, and for the longest time I was subscribed to all possible bookish boxes, fantasy boxes, and this is actually a jewelry box for traveling, but I organized sort of kinda all the beads that will be needed for this work. So floss I ordered myself, meaning I went to 123 Stitch, I added all the floss to the cart, I purchased it. Beads I ordered from the European Crosstitch website, and they send your beads delica. You do need delica beads, and I do think you can try to substitute it to the mill heel, but it's not going to give you the same effect. We're going to talk about it more when I get to my dragonfly tile. But so far, halfway through that work, in my opinion, they put just enough. But this is how they send you your beads. And I thought at first to collect the beads myself too. But one bag of delicate beads, it's like $5. And I already spent my gift certificate for the floss. So then when I start searching, only after I purchased the floss already, that's when I found a website that we're gonna just talk just in a minute. This is very interesting color. I like how it's like army green with brown, like a hunting colors, and this burnt orange. I like how it's in focus, so unfocused, so you can see the sparkle. And this one, like, very interesting colors too. And then another reason why I was very happy I discovered that website, because besides buying Delica beads, my bags would be too expensive. Some of these Swarovski crystals I wasn't able to find either a correct color or correct size. Again, I am not experienced, so I do, at this moment of my stitching life, I do want to follow the directions, because I need more experience to feel freely of changing, substituting, and what's not. So we have all these beautiful sparkly elements over here that will be needed to stitch on this beautiful fuchsia pattern. And I figured this box in the future, the scissors can go over there, and it's a sewing box, so it has like a little pin cushion just in case if I need to keep the pins in there. And now to this fun part, Karen water lilies. Very interesting, very variated colors, silks. The famous Gloriana that gets harder and harder to find. Again, because I'm not experienced, I don't know how I can substitute it. And that's where I feel like Facebook group is very handy. Like I'm sure, or like find a favorite YouTuber who stitch a lot of chatelaine, and I'm sure they will help you to kind of understand if there's way for you to substitute one color for another. Rainbow Gallery, all those beautiful sparkles of silver, kind of like white vintage gold, and it's like a copper color. And lots of dinky dye silks that they're so soft, so like the colors, it's just through and through mine colors. I love all of it, like the green especially, and this beautiful hydrangea color. I don't know what the actual name is, but hyacinth. It's probably some kind of other flower that I'm not quite sure. This one, it's almost like the fabric. Like fabric is same colors, pink and green. This one just more brighter than the one that I chose, the fabric. But this is how I organize it so far. And you will think, yes, I don't have some colors, but Katie, just start, just stitch, and you'll be just fine. Eventually get those colors. But back then, first of all, 100% you need a frame, because you cannot wash, you cannot, afterwards you cannot wash the project, and you cannot bend it because you work with so many beads. There's huge bead work included in this cross stitching. You don't want to use the hoop. I'm using the hoop on the tile only because this hoop, it's exactly the size of the finished project will be. Like I have just right amount of the spot, and I kind of like do not repeat my mistakes, because what I did, I got it and only then I start searching my info, but I wanted to start it so bad, and I still want to. It's still one of those projects that I absolutely have to stitch in my lifetime. But I need a good frame, I need a good frame holder. And what I see people doing, they actually, like they set up their process, they stretch the fabric right over the frame, and then they wrap the whole thing in a plastic wrap, and they just cut a little piece by piece to work on. So when you move in, you don't get it dirty, the hair doesn't get there, the dirt, the dust, and all of that. And that's why I haven't started yet. I feel like I don't have a good spot where I can relax and stitch and don't stress over that I will get it dirty, I will ruin it. You cannot wash it because of the silks, the variating floss. And That's when I decided, how about we going to start first with a smaller project. And that's when I started Googling the smaller chatelaines, and that's when I discovered this one. The fabric, I don't know what it is because I got it in one of those estate sales and none of those came with the notes, but it is 28 count. It's like very light green. For you, it's probably look like white right now, but it's like very bluish green, like very light. And again, this is a dupe for Norge hoop, the biggest one, and particular this one will fit just perfect. I do keep it in the bag, kind of like the bag that pattern came from, and if I don't stitch it, it's usually in the bag, and when I open it, nobody is allowed to be next to me. Everybody just out because I'm stitching it and I do not want to get it dirty. I talked about this particular pattern so many times because I do show it time to time in my stitcher updates, but I will say I enjoyed it a lot. I absolutely love it. Again, it's very hard for me to put it away. I think all my DMC floss in a different, oh no, it's here. But what I found handy, I got this sticky bead mats from the Amazon. As you can see, I put all my floss is in here, or all my beads in here, and I kind of stick the little symbols that is in the pattern connected to that particular bead. I put it, because it's sticky on both sides, I put it on a paper or on a plastic bag, and when I work with my regular hoop holders, I just pinch it right here. That way, when I bead, it's right here in front of me. I don't have to reach somewhere. It's just like right here. So I have my needle and my floss. I grab the bead and I continue stitching. These sticky mats are amazing. None of the stickiness stays on the beads. Nothing is ruined. I'm so happy that I found this way to organize my process. In this particular chart, we use Karen water lilies, Rainbow Gallery silks, Rainbow Gallery sparkle, lots of DMC floss, and the beads, of course. I would say it's very not that hard, but if you don't like to change your color way often, you might not like it. But also because it's a smaller mandala, it's very easy. For example, I'm working with green. I stitch 3 stitches of green over here, fix the floss, stitch 3 over here, fix the floss, 3 over here, fix the floss, 3 over here, fix the floss. So because it's small and I can see my full project at the same time, I just grab one color and I stitch it in all the places where it needs to be stitched. I change the color. So the color itself, you don't change that much, but I don't see how can you not cut your floss because would be very long stretches in between. So there's a lot of fixing the floss, cutting it, and restart it in a different position. The beading was super easy, and I do believe Delica is 100% needed. I am very happy that I did not substitute for Mill Hill, because Mill Hill beads, they will not lay like this. This not round beads, they're more like a cylinder, and they lay row by row so perfectly. I like every time I'm done with stitching, like for a couple of minutes, I just sit and doing this. In real life, you can see all that sparkle too, but it's almost like bright. It's like burning sparkle. It's so noticeable, and my goal was to finish this project this year, again, for the reason of I'm afraid to get it dirty. I just wanted to put it in a frame and don't stress over it, but it does take a lot of time. The stitching itself is very, very easy. For example, this frame that I thought at first would be difficult because you use a fancy stitch, like it's not a cross stitch, but it was so easy to do. The instructions inside are very easy to read. I did not Google nothing, like it was so easy for me to understand. But this frame right here, you do stitch with this Karen water lilies, and that gives you that beautiful variation effect. And I did not stress over the variation. I did not try to match it. I was just grabbing the floss, stitching with it, and having fun. I do use this floss. I talked about beads floss so many times. Check out my description. I do have a link to Amazon where to buy it. You also can use the Yuli invisible thread, and I did purchase that one because I need to put the bead right here in the middle that I haven't done yet. I keep forgetting about it. But the bead that goes right here in the middle, you have to stitch like the whole of the bead facing you. And if I stitch with this floss, because it's white, the floss is very, very noticeable. So I have to stitch it with invisible floss. But I decided for myself, overall, keep switching between those threads. This one is my favorite because it's way easier to work than Yuli. But Yuli is invisible, and that what makes you wanted to add it to your stash. This one also required some Swarovski crystals, so this gorgeous green one will go in the middle, and then the rest, these ones I think gonna go kind of in the corners. The bugle ones I already used in this frame. I don't remember if I will need to use them anywhere else. Overall, I just love this project so much. So I will answer the picture to show you the final result, what it should be. But I keep working on a frame around it. So like the next step, it's to the flowers, right, to finish here. And it's, again, it's not hard stitching, but it's lots of like sometimes it's just one square. You have to fix your floss, move on to the next one. I will say there's a lot of 1/4 and 3/4, and then there's going to be more dragonflies over here, but those going to be petite stitch, and I just know those going to take me forever because it's not just like petite stitch with one color. They have like 20 different colors probably in each dragonfly. Okay, maybe not 20, but at least 10 for sure, and it's a petite stitch. So I know as soon as I achieve those, like finish those petite ones, there's one more frame, like the final frame around it, and basically after that the project is finished. I think I'm around like 40-45% done right now, so definitely sometime soon, or obviously next year, this is going to be finished. But it's just one of those projects that I'm so impressed. I'm enjoying it, and I can only imagine how gorgeous the hydrangea is going to be, because the hydrangeas, there's more interesting stitching, not just the cross stitching. There's more sparkle, there's more silks, and all of that. So this one I ordered after the hydrangeas, and when I ordered this one, I did everything right, in my opinion. First of all, I ordered a PDF from the official website. By the way, they do have free charts, so definitely check them out just to see how the chart is built. Do you like it? Do you not? And all of that. I do love when a designer gives you a free chart so you can understand if the pattern that they make, it's easy for you to read. And I used that website, and I ordered beads and fancy floss out of it. But when you go into that European cross stitch company, you will see this, and what you do, you go to Chatelaine, you pick whatever you want, read this, and let's open any of them. This one is in my wish list for sure. But 100% read the description, read all of that. This is very important. But you can order either a special threads, Gloriana thread, or bead pack. Special threads do not include Gloriana. Gloriana is hard to find and not everybody ordering that, because if you order a special threads and Gloriana and a bead, you will have to wait for your whole order when this floss will get back in stock. And when it's going to happen, nobody ever knows. So that's why they separated in a different groups. So if you don't want to wait for the Gloriana, you don't have to. When I ordered the dragonfly tile, there's no Gloriana needed, so I ordered a special thread pack and a bead pack. And I ordered on, I checked it before I start filming this, I checked it on January, I ordered on January 2nd of this year, and I got my order on February 15th. So with just a basic things, still it took them a month to pack it and send it to me. Again, I only ordered a beads, which I'm assuming it does take a lot of time, you know, because they have to count all the beads and separate them for you. And the floss that was in the thread pack, it is fancy, but it's not that hard to find, you know. It's just your rainbow gallery and one color of the Karen water lilies. And it took them a month and a half to get to me. So and it's a small project, and it was like what, 3 flosses and 9 colors of sparkles plus the Swarovski crystals. So the Swarovski do come in a bead pack, and isn't it beautiful? It's definitely on my wish list. But definitely read the description. So it does tell you right here, what are you waiting for, what you're looking for. So specialty thread, which is also, if you think they're trying to take more money from you, no. Because when I ordered my hydrangea floss out of 123 Stitch, for a second I was like, it got so much cheaper than from this website. But turns out I did not read this paper right, and I didn't notice that some of those fancy flosses you need in 2 or in 4 or more amount, and I ordered everything in 1. So if you add up, and if you add up those, the one that I skipped, that didn't pay attention, you will get exactly the same price that this website gives you. So no, ordering yourself, it's not gonna get cheaper. If anything, it will get you more stressed. But definitely 100% check out this website. This one, it's my like, I think, I don't know, I feel like I should go with green first, because it will perfectly go with the dragonfly. But let's see. This one gives you an option to buy a paper chart. Don't do that, remember? Go to official website and get a PDF chart. Again, special threads pack, Gloriana pack, and a bead pack. This looks like it way less beads than the previous one. Oh, this one is have a heart, probably in the middle, huh? But I guarantee when you're gonna go to this website, you're just gonna get lost in here. There's so many beautiful, look at this. I don't know, I told you before something about the shelves, and all of a sudden the sea themed, it's like my new obsession. But honestly, every single of this pattern, you can spend hours just looking at them. Definitely go to the Facebook and follow those Chatelaine groups. Definitely search for more knowledgeable Chatelaine stitchers. Check out the finished results. Those are breathtaking gorgeous, 100%. But see, this one, that's the one I'm stitching, doesn't need any Gloriana, so I literally just ordered special threads and a bead pack. And it took them a month and a half, and it's a small pattern. Those are huge patterns, so I don't know how long it's gonna take those. Look at that. And I feel like after stitching couple, which I did promise myself I'm not starting another one before I finish this one, because it's one of those that if I start many, even 2, none of them gonna be ever finished, because you know, you start a new project, your all excitement goes toward that one, and the older project goes so far behind that is just impossible to finish. But I feel like in the future, after stitching so many, and I know I will stitch more, slowly the collection will grow, the special threads will grow. So I just know eventually I will build up like my stash that I don't need to stress over it. But Chatelaine is pricey, so I'm kind of hoping to get another gift certificate this Christmas, and maybe I spoil myself for another mini tile to match with this one. But if you don't like mandala, again, go to official website, but there's lots of other options. Like you don't have, look at this one. Again, you don't need to, like, you don't have to stitch just mandala, you know, they have other designs if you don't like that effect. They have lots of this like panels, for example this one, but they have one with like castle, and this one is gorgeous too. I don't think I would ever stitch anything willingly again on a black canvas because my eyes did not like those, but look at that. But if it's needed for that contrast, on my Halloween little witch over there, they have cats with pumpkins too. They have a mandala with cats and pumpkins. Look at this. I told you before, Halloween is not my thing, but this one, I have looked for this one for like a couple years now because I think it's so bright and beautiful, and 100% yes to that purple fabric in the background. I will probably not find the one that I tried to show you right now. This is the one that is my wish list. This is like a perfume. I think like above the vanity, it's gonna be so beautiful. And especially I have Mirabilia Mermaid of Perfume. Like, the little collections already building themselves, even though I don't have it yet. In my head, that's the ones. The little castle garden collection, you should see it finished. It's sparkly, beautiful, delicate work, so gorgeous. I cannot explain it to you how beautiful it is. So if you don't feel like, look. And lately I have been more into work like this. Like sometimes I want easy, fast stitching when it's just like and it's done. And some of the projects I love grab something like this, and in 2 hours there will be very small progress. But that particular work, do something with your hands, dive into process more, something about it. It just makes me so happy that I cannot explain it. It's kind of weird, but it makes me so happy. And honestly, this one, oh my god, also in my wish list, because when you stitch the octopus in the middle, I forgot what you call his things, but you stitch the beads, again, the whole facing you. It looks so realistic, like the little details. This particular project is so beautiful. But you do need Gloriana in here. Maybe it's possible to find. If you will order Gloriana, if you will order it as a pack from this website, just prepare that. From what I heard, from what I watched other YouTubers, you might not start that desired project in a very long time. Again, because the other things will not come if the Gloriana is not ready. So maybe order it separately, so at least you can start something else. But again, if you have a chart, you kind of know where the Gloriana is going to be, so you can see how far you can stitch without needing it. But we can spend hours in this website, I think. Look at this garden. So there's not just mandalas, there's so many other things, and it's so beautiful. And this one, another on my wish list, that North northern lights, the polar bears, the other polar animals. And this one I've been wanting before my recent polar bear obsession started. So special, and those are fancy. Oh my god, how much Gloriana you need here? Look at that. This is crazy. This is absolutely insane, and this is why I don't do more than one project at a time. Anyway, let's kind of sum up. Don't get a paper pattern. Go to official website, order yourself official PDF file. Use that European Crosstitch website because you can skip some skeins like I did, and those are very, very handy. Make sure you have a very comfortable spot where you can easily display your project without future beads breaking and extra dirtying your project. So make sure you keep it safe, because remember, you cannot wash it at the end because you do work variation floss. If you will work with that variation floss and it's silks, you cannot wash them even in a cold water, at least from what the info I gathered. I am not planning to wash it. I'm just gonna hope. I will try to make it as clean as possible till the end. Definitely, I see myself in the future ordering the packs from the European Crosstitch website that I just showed you, because it just makes sense. It's logical. Yes, you do have to wait a little bit longer than, for example, you 1 to 3 stitch, but because, for example, with my hydrangeas, I order everything from 1 to 3 stitch. Now I have to collect some of the flosses and I cannot find them, and it just makes it so much more complicated than if I would search my info first and actually went to the European Crosstitch website and just order the whole pack from there. Because a year later, I still have not started it, and probably by now I already get that Gloriana pack full. So even though you're ordering something that does not include in Gloriana, be prepared that you will have to wait at least for a month. Because again, I ordered this one at the beginning of the January, literally January 2nd, which you will probably have to think that a couple of weeks I ordered during the holidays, so they probably didn't start. But still, it took a month to get the pack, the beads, and all of that. I know there is not much info. It's kind of very just the beginner level, but I kind of want to film this video for myself too, for my future for my future me because I just know I'm gonna keep stitching this brand. There's so much that in my wish list, and eventually I will get more experience, and it will be interesting what else I can add to everything that I showed you today. But if you like fancy floss, if you like the beadwork, if you like all those little creating something with your hands that takes forever, I would say Chatelaine is definitely for you. I'm enjoying it. I'm loving it. Actually, it was not planned of my winter stitching, but I think after finishing this video, I am going to go and stitch on this project because it's just too pretty to say no to. If you experience stitcher, please add all the help info in the comments. Please help us all who wants to stitch more chatelaine. And yeah, if you have any more questions, also leave them in the comments. Maybe somebody more experienced will answer them. Maybe I forgot to tell you something and I will know the answer. But definitely join the group on Facebook. I find lots of helpful information there. If you have any questions, people over there are very helpful. And yeah, thank you so much for spending your time with me. Again, if you experience, please leave a comment. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. And I will see you very soon in the next Stitchy Flossmas episode. Bye!